Boogeyman band coming round the bend. Is Boogeyman band. Is Boogeyman band.
Greetings, my fellow Fright fiends, and thanks so much for dropping by the Horror Zone channel. I hope everyone's doing well. Today's video is one that I've been wanting to do for a while. I had meant to do it last month, but just got kind of crazy. But what I'm going to be talking about today is American Mythology Productions, issue number 2 of Fright Night, Tom Holland's Fright Night. I did a review of issue number 1 last January. I was kind of mixed on it. It wasn't a slam dunk for me. I was really anxiously awaiting issue 2, and it would take almost a full year for me to get this. I didn't get this issue until late December of 2022. I got this one at the beginning of January of 2022, so it took a long time for this second issue to come out. I don't know why. I initially even reached out to American Mythology Productions through their Instagram page to find out what was going on with the Fright Night series and never heard back from them. And so I don't understand like how these things are being released if I have to wait another year for issue 3, which is a little frustrating because I had to go back and reread issue 1 because it had been so long since I read it. But I'm really excited to talk about issue number 2. Just to give you a little history on my love of Fright Night. Now, Fright Night is one of my favorite horror films of all time, as well as Fright Night Part 2. I love both of those films. I even love the Fright Night remake. Not as much as those first 2 films, but I did enjoy it. In the 80s, back in 1988, when I was just about to start high school, Now Comics put out a Fright Night comic book series that ran until early 1990. And I have every issue. Here's just a handful of issues that I pulled out from my little collector's box. So this is issue number 14. Issue 15 was one of my favorites. But this was a great comic book series, and I was heartbroken when it actually got canceled. And there had been rumblings that Tom Holland had the rights to the comic book series and that eventually we were going to be seeing some new comics. Issue number 2, I actually liked a little bit better than issue number 1. It gives a little bit more exposition. You find out the aftermath of Charlie, Amy, and Peter defeating Jerry Dandridge. Also, I love, again, that artist Neil Vokes, who did a lot of the art on this original comic book series, comes back to do several pages in this. The story is actually coming together a little bit better. I felt like that first issue, it was a little bit I just didn't really understand like some of the motivations of the characters. Something about the characters that just didn't seem authentic. It didn't seem like the same characters from that original film or that original comic book series, which was drawn really well. I felt like those characters felt like an extension of the characters from the films. I didn't really understand like where Amy was, but this book gives a little bit more, this one gives it a little bit more of a backstory as to why Amy made the choices that she did, and also why Charlie is going through what he's going through, and then also Peter. I love, there's more meat to this book than there was in that first issue. I am still a little bit torn on the way that the art is done in this. Artist Jason Craig and artist Neil Vokes share art duties on this book. And some of the pages, like the beginning and the end of the book, is done by Jason Craig, and then there's a middle portion where is a flashback to the events that happened after the original Fright Night movie ended. Just sort of, how did Amy and Peter and Charlie explain to the police what had happened? That is all done by Neil Vokes, and I love that artwork so much. The Jason Craig stuff I'm not crazy about, and because it changes, it shifts where he starts the book and ends the book. I just don't like the art. I'm nothing against him. It's just not the style that I'm used to. I just love Neil Vokes' art. I am interested to see where this is going to go. This does, even though it was kind of hinted at in the first book, you see that there's this group of vampires that are trying to revive Jerry Dandridge. Evil Ed comes back into the story to sort of close it out and sort of set things up for issue number 3. I am really curious to see where they're going to go with it. I think the characterizations work better here. I do think it answers some of those questions that I had when I initially read the first issue, which I mentioned in my video that it was just the first issue. I didn't know where it was going to go. I like where it's going, but again, the big problem I have with this is the 2 different artists. I really wish it was just Neil Vokes doing the art, but that's just my own preference because I'm such a big fan of his artwork from the original series. I do think issue 2 is better than issue 1, but issue 1 needed to sort of set the stage for where these characters are after the events of the first book. If this is kind of like a retelling, this isn't sort of, I had hoped that the series would just sort of maybe continue from where that original series had left off, but there's been too much time. I mean, it's been over 30 years since that series ended. So yeah, I really enjoyed issue number 2. I'm really curious to see where they're going to go with issue number 3. I liked it so much better than issue number 1. My biggest issue is still the different artists. Wish Neil Vokes was just doing the art, but that's just a small gripe. I still like the story. And if I had to give this a rating on my scale, I would give Tom Holland's Fright Night issue number 2 4 skulls. So that is my review of Fright Night issue number 2. Let me know if you guys are collecting this comic book series. Let me know if you guys would like to see me do more comic book reviews here on the channel. I do have the Creepshow comics. I love them, and I would love to talk about them more. I've been thinking about doing a review of those as well. And there is also that Fright Night Origins book that Tom Holland put out that I do have. I will be reading that. I got a lot of books I'm trying to read, but I want to do more book reviews and comic reviews instead of just doing movie reviews, which so many YouTubers do. I think this is more interesting and more fun. Let me know what you guys think, and thanks so much again for stopping by the Horror Zone channel. I hope everyone's doing well, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Take it easy. Stay scared as always. Hey fellow Fright Fiends, just want to say thank you again for supporting Boogeyman Ben's Horror Zone. If you're brand new to the channel and you haven't yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button down below, hit the bell notification so you're updated every time I drop a new video. I typically do this once or twice a week with new content. I've been doing this for over 11 years, and the horror genre is a passion of mine, and it really means a lot to me that I can share that passion with all of you guys. Thanks so much again for the support, and I'll talk to you again later. Take it easy, stay scared as always. Peace.